Hello everyone, my name is Jonathan Semple, and for this project I've decided that I would campaign for U.S. Congress. Now, the region that I would run for is California's 5th Congressional District, and the reason that I would run for this region is simply that I live in Napa, California. You can see it in the bottom middle of the screen. Now, while it is on the lower end of this region, I do know people who live all throughout this area. And so, through knowing them, through connections I make through the job, and through all of the resources that I would have at my disposal, I figured that I'd be able to represent this region well and help push laws, help support laws that will benefit the area as a whole. Now, the current person holding this position is U.S. Congressman Mike Thompson, and believe it or not, I actually know him personally. He lives in Napa, California, where I'm from, and by the time I'm eligible to run for Congress, he most likely won't be holding this position anymore. But if I was to run today and the congressional elections started today, then this is the man I'd be running up against. Now, he has been an incumbent in this area for several years, um, and from that, I do not think I'd be able to win the race against him. But later on in my life, as I look down the road, I would be able to have a chance, of assuming that I built the right connections and that I led my campaign in such a way that I'd be able to show the people of the area that I could do a good job. Assuming I manage to get into the race for this election, a few of the things that I would be supporting consist of small businesses, wineries, clean energy, the armed forces. Um, while these might seem very different from each other, and they are, it is important that they are all mentioned. In that, in supporting wineries, I would support a huge portion of this region's income. I would support a huge portion of the region's workers, and I would be able to really help the region continue to grow and prosper in a way that it is. Then, on top of supporting wineries, I would support small businesses. The reason for this is that small businesses are vital, absolutely vital to any city. They're absolutely vital to the economy of an area. While you could substitute small businesses for chain brands and for larger corporations, small businesses in the end are the heart of these towns and the heart of this region. And then on the topic of clean energy, there isn't much clean energy in this region. There's a few windmills, there's a few solar panels, but making incentives to where people are going to want to invest more into this, invest more into solar panels, invest more into clean energy of any type would um, help the region stay clean and support itself. Then on top of armed forces, I think it's I think it should be an imperative across the whole United States, across this region, across everywhere, to keep a strong military because we do not want to have to give up our position in the world. We should try our best to remain a global superpower and to help other nations who need it. I think that having a strong military is something that is vital to the way we live today. Now, when it comes to running the race, before I'm elected, before I get to actually take my policies into action, as I talked about on the last slide, I would need to tell my voters who I am. And that would be things like I'm a Christian. I was born and raised from this area. I've lived here my whole life. I know people here. Um, just telling them things about who I am, making them not only want to elect me due to my policy, but want to elect me for being a person they can trust. And then telling them what I stand for. A lot of that was mentioned on the last slide, but telling them that I am a person of moral standing, that I will have their best interests in mind, and gaining their trust. And then the whole point of an election is to get people to vote. If I could manage to get people to know who I am, get people to trust me, then I would be able to get them to vote. Now, I believe this is the end of my presentation, and so I thank you guys for listening. I know it was just about 5 minutes, and I apologize for taking up that much of your time, but once again, thank you guys for listening.